Ross here from EnquireMe. Today we're going to make a little video on how to create a vessel using the EnquireMe system, how to publish it to all the different websites, and some nifty little tricks and tips along the way. First, we're going to get started by we're going to log into the EnquireMe panel. Now, if you go up to the EnquireMe website, you'll see the client logon section. You can just click on that. Otherwise, you can go directly in your browser to panel.enquireme.com.au/administration with a capital A. That'll land you on the login page and then basically into your details specific to your dealership, and that will push you through to your correct location. Now, I've already gone ahead and done this. First of all, when you land in the panel, you're going to see this section here, which is the pending approval section. This lands on this by default to show any vessels that you need to approve or publish, and it may be ones that you're waiting on photos or anything like that. So you can leave that sitting there awaiting approval and publication. Okay, first we're going to hit the create button up in the top right hand corner. You'll see the ad fields come up. Now, pretty standard, but kind of like a bit of a checklist as well. What you're going to do is effectively walk through the process of selling the boat from top to bottom. So you're going to go from manufacturers through to descriptions, and then down into the items of every vessel. Now, some fields may not be applicable for all types of boats. The one we're going to do today is a Quintrex boat from Surf Coast Marine, one of our dealers that use EnquireMe. Now, for example, it doesn't use anti-foul, it doesn't use different deck materials and things like that. It is just an aluminium trailer boat, for example. So whatever fields we don't fill in along the way simply won't get published. So if you leave a blank field, that blank field will not show up on the system. Okay, so we're going to jump over to Surf Coast Marine's website now. We're going to jump on the Quintrex 481 cruise about. Now, we're just going to grab this description. We're actually going to recreate this boat using the panel login section. First, we're going to jump over and we're going to paste this description into the long description area, or the description field just here. This is your main description for your website. It may be a little bit different, to what you want to put on boat sales and things like that. So if you do want to make it stand out a lot more, use fonts, insert HTML links or embed videos, anything like that, you can do that through the Tiny Mice editor in this section of the page. Now, boat sales, a couple of others, boat sales, Boat Point, don't allow any formatting or source code to go across. They only use plain text. So your description that goes from this box here into the boat sales description will lose all its formatting. That's purely because they do not allow links and things like that, or any type of text font changes, and that, just to keep some consistency across their website. Now, for the short description, I generally grab the first line of the text and paste that up the top. Now, what that is this section here. It's the short little preview that you're going to see in your ad. Now, not all sites show this, but this just comes down to how the site's built. In Surf Coast Marine's case, it does use an excerpt of text to show you first, to entice you into the listing, or tell you a little bit about the listing quickly. You can customize this in the way that you can make it bright red if you wanted to, or bold the letters, or do anything like that. Simply just do it in the description tab using the editor, and then copy and paste it up to here. That will carry the formatting across with it. Once I'm happy with this description, I generally copy and paste it into the boat sales description here. As you'll see, it's stripped all the formatting, taken the bullet points away, and converted it just back to plain text. Okay, moving on, now we're going to go down to the features section. We're going to select the manufacturer. Now, if in your case you're uploading a boat and the manufacturer's not here, what I suggest you do is just mark this as not listed. Now, still continue through and add in everything that you normally can. Once you've completed, just click Save and Remain. Then under the Configuration tab here, you'll have manufacturers. You can jump in and add as many or as little as you want, along the way. So, same goes for categories. These categories are normally aligned with your boat website. So this will generally be bow riders, runabouts, things like that. It can be completely customized to suit your business, yeah, basically very, very simple and very straightforward, but it just tells us where to put that particular vessel. So moving on, we've got a 481 cruiseabout. Now stock numbers, reference codes, rego and HIN over here on the right. Basically the reference code or the stock numbers can be particular identifiers about that listing. They can be your floor plan stock numbers for your finance company. They can be anything like that that will basically trigger your memory. That will be brought through on the inquiries and things like that and only available for you to see. So yeah, entirely up to you whether you want to use these fields. Generally speaking, I don't use them all that often, but we're going to move past them today. We're just going to go along and fill out the basic details along here. Now the length and feet here, length width, which is the width is otherwise known as the beam of the boat. We're just going to go across to Quintrex's website here. So we've got a 4.96 meters in length. Now as you'll see, as soon as I tab down, you'll see that the system automatically generates the exact feet required field. So basically that works in both directions. If you put in the meters only, it will convert the feet. If you put in the feet only, it will convert the meters for you. So if you only know that it's a 21-foot boat, simply put 21 feet in the feet box and that will convert the meters for you. Now the beam of the boat, or the width, is 2.09. It doesn't use anti-foul, the deck material doesn't vary, the vessel location is Labrador, Queensland. Vessel doesn't have a name. The builder is Talwater, who are the owners of Quintrex. The beam, we're just going to chuck that in a second time. That just shows up in a different location. Dry hull weight of this boat is 410 kilos. It doesn't carry a water capacity or water system at all. The draft of these boats, now this sort of only suits really brokerage and bigger vessels. Surf Coast Marine are just a simple trailer boat dealer, so draft doesn't really come into their scenario all that often. It's actually not even a published technical specification from Quintrex anyway, so that's really not available to us to put in there anyway. Now moving down the galley section, so this obviously doesn't have freezers, fridges, sinks or stoves, so we'll just leave those fields empty. As I said earlier, if they're empty, they will not show up, so pretty straightforward in that way. Accommodation, configuration, berth, toilets, air conditioning and all that is all pretty much the same boat. It doesn't apply to this particular boat, so we'll just leave that. Now anchor kit comes in an 8-pound anchor kit. Automatic good pump, doesn't have any stern thrusters, holding tanks, comes with 6 PFD ones. Radio is optional. Now if you wanted to, you can just go through and put optional in the field. Comes with a bimini top and bow cover. Doesn't have a genset or any of the other things. Now moving down, you'll see the media detail here. This is a new feature that's just been added recently. Now what this is you can put your link to your YouTube video, Vimeo, all those sort of different wonderful places. You can simply paste the browser URL code from the top of the page into here. This will show up as a link on your website and make it easy to access that and watch that video in a pop-up box. Same sort of style for the brochure URL. If you have a digital brochure on your website, simply right-click on it and copy the link of that brochure and paste it into this field. That'll also add a link onto the listing page to download that brochure. Now, next, moving on, we've got the integration component. Now, basically, depending on who you're subscribed to, everyone's a little bit different. Most obviously use the BoatPoint Boat Sales, so in this case we're going to send it to BoatPoint and Boat Sales. Now the XML output field is basically a file, which is the technology that EnquireMe uses, but it's a file that we basically send across to an IT company if you don't want to redesign your website. They pick up that feed and then style it on your website how you want your vessels to look. So in that case, you can send it to many different places and basically integrate it into the system that you've got right now very, very easily. XML files are a very common thing in the IT industry, and most IT professionals do know how to use them and handle them. So we're going to tick yes on that one. We've got Aussie Traders, Lux Marine, Trader Boat. So we're going to integrate to push to all those guys today. The newsletter feed, now this one's a little bit of a clever one, and it's a very new feature for us. What this does is grabs, again, the XML file and feeds it off to a newsletter software like MailChimp, and there's some other ones. What this allows you to do is drag and drop your listings into your newsletter with all the links embedded, the thumbnail images pulled across, basically all the data on that boat, just to make you be able to build your newsletter a lot quicker and a lot smarter in a much shorter time. So a very, very cool little feature, that one. And yeah, if you don't have it as yet, feel free to give us a call and ask for it, because it is a very, very powerful little thing. Okay, now we're going to just move back up to the top. Now, I've purposely done the pricing and that sort of thing last. Just wanted to show you a couple of things with the SEO side of things. Now, condition obviously of this boat is new. We're going to make this price actually stand out a little bit. We're going to make it 30,001 cent. Now, search weighting. What search weighting is, if I just jump back onto this screen here, search weighting means where you want to position that particular listing in comparison to all the other boats on that page. Now in this case, if I wanted that to show up at the top of the page, I'll give that a low search weighting. If I wanted to show it up at the bottom of the page, I'd give it a high search weighting. Now that's completely flexible, and not everybody uses it, but the flexibility is there to do it. Generally, when we build your site for you, we'll offer this sort of thing here. So price high to low, low to high, manufacturers, dates added, things like that. So that's completely and entirely up to you to use, but that flexibility is there if you ever need it. Now the title is simply just Quintrex 481. Cruise about. Now, moving on to the keyword section, I encourage people at a minimum to copy the title of the boat and put it down into this field. Now, this can be elaborated. You can add more things to it. It's quite simple to do. I'm just going to delete those for a second just to show you, but basically what you can do here is just put Quintrex, comma, no space, boats, for, comma, sale. Now when you're writing keywords, if there are a bundle of words as in Quintrex 481 cruiseabout, it is fine to leave them and then do a comma after that, and then break down your individual words that you want to use following that. Now this field will allow about 60 characters in it, and then it'll be truncated by the search engines, very similar to your title pages. But I do highly recommend this. It's very intelligent and puts keywords in behind the listing and just gives you a little bit more power in organic search. So at a bare minimum, do copy your title down into your keyword section. If you can elaborate on that, that's great. It's also got a memory field, so if you do type something in there, a common theme, it will bring that up every time you click into that box, and you can simply just tab and enter on it and use it straight away. So yeah, look, that is something that I do encourage people to use. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to click Save and Remain. We're going to go across to Engines. I'm going to add a new record here. The make is Evinrude E-Tech. Hours is 0 because it's brand new. Displacement is 1.3 litres. The horsepower is 60. The fuel type is petrol. The capacity is 70 litres on this boat. The drive type is an outboard. The steering is mechanical, non-feedback. The stroke is direct injection 2-stroke. Service history is 0 because it's brand new. The propeller is a stainless steel propeller, so I'm just going to chuck stainless steel in there. And it comes with 1 times heavy duty marine battery. After that's done, we're just going to click Insert. That's going to show you up on this field here. And if your particular vessel does have twin engines, you do have the ability to obviously add another record. Now, there may be variance between the engines, there may be differences, which would be highly unlikely, but the hours may vary from engine to engine. If that's the case, you can break each engine down separately, port and starboard, and have your differences show up in your actual ads. Now, moving on, we're going to go to the category section. We're going to add a new record. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. Surf Coast Marine, in their case, have some American bow riders that they use. Then they move down to their Stagecraft boats and then into their Quintrex categories here. So what this does is it basically just tells EnquireMe where to send the listing to on your own relative website. So in this case, it's a bow rider, and we're just going to click Insert on that, and we can move on. Now, as for pictures, you can simply click the Add Files button here and navigate your way through to wherever you have the images on your computer. However, I've got mine ready just here today. And I'm simply just going to drag and drop. It is a drag and drop editor, so it can be done in this way: Mac, PC, Internet Explorer, all those sort of things. And can be easily dumped in there for quick upload. Now, moving on to another section, there is no maximum that we have for the total amount of files that can be uploaded to our system. They will be resized and scaled to suit every different website properly. However, there is a 5 megabyte maximum, so 4.9 megabytes, 4.99 is the maximum we can take in an individual file. So if you do upload an image that's over that size, instead of the green tick here, you're going to get a yellow triangle with an exclamation mark. That means that image is not going to be uploaded and will need to be resized to suit. Now, moving down here, you can see the images that I've just uploaded. So these are just a very low resolution thumbnail of them. Now, in this case, if you've uploaded a duplicate, grabbed the image twice by accident, you can simply just delete them here and tidy it all up. Once you're happy with that, you can move across to the picture sorts area. It's a cool little feature. You can just drag and drop which ones or which images you want in which location. I generally try to run a bit of a common theme here: lifestyle shots, and then working on the internals from there. Now, you know, in trailer boats it's a little bit different, but in the bigger boats, maybe structure your photos and run with a common theme of you walking on the aft of the boat, walking your way through the boat up to the bow, and run that sort of structure through your photo section. It really just creates some consistency and some good branding for your ads. So that's a great one. Now I'm going to click Save and Remain. This ad is now ready to go live, and it's ready to go live to all the websites. Before we click the Approve button, we do have a user-based role system for senior management. What this does is allows the marketing, the PA, the receptionist, whoever uploads the vessels to the website, allows them to only save that listing ready for uploading. Then a sales manager, general manager, dealer, principal, whoever it may be in your business, to come in, check that ad and approve it before it goes live. So just in case of any pricing errors or anything like that. Now I've clicked the Approve button. I'm going to go across here to the website and refresh. You'll see our vessel has shown up here. Click on through to it, you'll see all the information that we added a little bit earlier. Now, any vessels that you click to go to boat sales and boat point, they are fed across at 10 AM and 10 PM. The likes of Lux Marine, Aussie Traders, your own website, they're all fed in real time, so they're live straight away. Boat sales only just restrict us 10 AM and 10 PM, just to control traffic to their servers and things like that. So generally speaking, with a listing, it takes around about 5 to 10 minutes per listing. Is a pretty good average time, working at a pretty average rate. Obviously you can do this faster, you can do this slower, it's entirely up to you, but the whole principle of the system is that you only upload this vessel once and it spreads it to all locations, saving you from doing the same boat 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times across different platforms. So it is a very good and unique system. The other thing that we do offer is we've got a iPad app. Now you can just inquire with us about that. This basically allows you to do the exact same thing but on the fly. it's very, very handy for brokers and bigger boat dealerships, because the whole app works as a checklist from pretty much the front of the boat to the back of the boat, allowing you to fill in every field as you walk through the boat and making sure that you don't miss anything. So very, very good. Also, you know, gives you high resolution pictures off your iPad mini or whatever it may be that you're using. You can even use it on your iPhone as well. The system, or the iPad system, works on any connection, so it'll work on 3G, 4G, Wi-Fi, or even no connection. This is something very, very clever. What it will do is it'll actually store all that information locally on the app. Once you hit a connection, it will then automatically fire that off to the server, which will then show it up in your EnquireMe panel right here. That's where you would go in and modify that particular listing if you wanted to make some changes, or you didn't want to sit there and type it all out on your iPad. You just wanted to get the main information. Or if you're a broker and you've got an open listing, you want to get that thing online as soon as possible. It is very, very powerful in that scenario. You can have it online and listed before you even leave the pontoon. So very, very powerful, and can be used to do a variety of things. Another feature we've just added to the iPad app is contracts and consignment forms. So we've grabbed a copy of a legal marine contract and also a consignment form. Now, what you can do is you can actually go into the app, into the particular vessel. In this case, we'd say it's the 481 Cruiseabout. You can actually generate the contract then and there, and that person can sign with their finger to purchase that boat on the spot, making it a legal binding contract, obviously pending deposits and things like that. It is very, very powerful for pretty much any dealership, in the way that, if you are out on a test drive and these people are excited, ready to buy, you can actually sell them that particular boat on the spot. So it is a very, very good sales tool. Another great feature that we do have in the EnquireMe system is the integration of Sugar CRM. Now, what we've done with that component is it feeds any information based off your EnquireMe panel into the system. When someone makes an inquiry on this particular boat, by example, filling out the form here, it will then push that person's information into the CRM along with a link to the boat and things like that. It will then allow them to log calls, email straight out of the system, making a lot more efficient for sales managers and general managers to keep an eye on staff and that sort of stuff, but keep track of actually where leads are at today. There's some crazy statistic that 80% of salesmen never make a follow-up call. So being a sales manager or a general manager, you've got that power there to know when they've logged a call and when they haven't. And if they haven't, why haven't you? And push that fact there. Effectively, in theory, it will lead to more sales and more closing of deals. So it is a very, very valuable tool. It allows you to leave notes, schedule appointments on water tests, everything like that, and is a great feature. The really good thing about the Sugar CRM integration, it is a community version, so it's open source software. It can be customized to suit you in any way, shape or form, and is completely free off the bat. So EnquireMe do not charge for that as part of our package. So it is a great tool, and we really encourage people to take a look at that, because it will make your sales team more powerful and more responsible for their actions. So another great feature. We'll do a run through on the CRM in the next video version, and I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that made a lot of sense and was very easy to do. And if you've got any questions, you can fire us an email through the EnquireMe website or give us a call. Thank you. Enjoy.